Hello, everybody. I am here with Michelle Gainey. She is the owner of Lemiga Events based out of Atlanta. I have invited her today. She is one of our Sage coaches with B Sage Consulting, and she is going to be coaching people on how to find her superpowers. Now, I have been a huge fan of Michelle's for forever. So I am so honored to have her as a coach, and I cannot wait for her to mentor you through some of the things that I just see stand out in our industry above and beyond. So many of us. You are the cream of the crop, Michelle. So, Michelle, tell us a little bit about what you're known for.
Sure. So we are based in Atlanta, Georgia, and we specialize in full service planning and design. So we work with our clients from beginning to end, handling all the logistics, the planning, and the design. And they come to us because they are looking for an experience that's outside the box, that's unique and different, and that their guests are going to be really taken care of. So we focus on truly getting to know our clients' personalities, their story, and taking ordinary details and turning them into glamorous, memorable events, but always with a bit of modern Southern hospitality. And it's through that modern Southern hospitality that we make our guests and our clients feel cared for and loved and just, really taken care of. And I think that is the magic that comes from not just beautiful events, but beautiful events with meaning, and that people never forget.
Yeah, I see that Southern hospitality come out so strong in everything that you do, in the stuff that you feature on your Instagram, but also in the ways that you're published. I see it come across on your website. It's really this thread that combines everything. How do you think that unifying, that superpower of Southern hospitality, modern Southern hospitality, has helped you stand out as an event planner, especially in Atlanta? Atlanta is a really competitive market.
It is. Well, and I think that so often people are looking to what's to the left of them and what's to the right of
Mm,
them and saying those are the trends and that's what we have to follow if we want to gain clients. And they focus on that.
mhm.
When I started, when I started in the beginning, I had to fight to change the narrative of what a modern, or not a modern, but what a Southern event was. You know,
Yes.
everyone wanted hay bales and cotton and mason jars. And I had a clientele that didn't want that.
Mhm.
They didn't want farm tables unless it was with chandeliers. They didn't
Yeah.
want to be in a barn if there was sawdust on the floor. Like it was so pigeonholed in terms of what we did in the South. And so I had to fight with my rental partners and my design vendors to really like elevate and just change, just show a different side of what a Southern event could be. And when I started doing that, I noticed I was attracting clients from other places. And they
Yes.
maybe weren't from Atlanta, or they lived here but they were from somewhere else originally, and they saw that and they were like, yes, I'm
Yes.
glamorous, I'm timeless, I'm in a way that really I started seeing that consistency.
Yes.
And I felt like that is what drew me to my people and what
Uh-huh.
drew them to me.
I see that. Gosh, I see that happen where people are a little nervous to come out bold and say, "Hey, I specialize in modern Southern hospitality," because everyone's doing mason jars,
Yes.
and I think I need to be doing that too, or I'm going to miss all the market. Well, what happens is when you're not accentuating on what makes you different, what you like to do, you end up trying to catch like 90% of the market, but 10% has nobody to go to. And there's actually more if you kind of only look for that, 5 or 10%, because nobody's feeding this. Everybody else is feeding that 90%. And there's so much more competition happening where it's saying like,
You just blend in, you don't
yeah,
stand out. And so, when you're a trendsetter instead of following
mhm,
trends,
mhm,
that's when you're getting published,
mhm.
that's when people are taking notice. But also, it allows you to set yourself apart so that you can't be compared.
Yes.
And you really kind of cement how you stand out from others. And
Yeah.
it's important to stand out from others so that You can set the services the way that you want to have them. You can set your pricing the way that you want it
Mm,
to be done. I remember earlier in my career, and everybody has a different journey,
yeah.
um, but a mentor in my head, I attended one of her talks, and at the time, I was a young mother, and some people start their business first and then they have a family. Well, I was a mom and then started my business.
Mm-hmm.
So my business had to work within my family
Mm,
versus other people who their business is their baby and
yeah.
then they get married and have a family. Well, this planner said that she only did $1 million events and she only needed 10 events a year. And so she was like, you guys can have the rest of the wedding
Yeah. Right.
because I only need 10. And
Yes.
that immediately resonated with me. I
Yeah.
did not want to be doing 50 weddings a year, running around crazy, never seeing my family because
Mm,
I was so busy.
mhm,
I wanted to focus on who are those 10 people I need to speak to
mhm, mhm.
that I know I can deliver an exceptional experience for, and that because of what they're looking for, they'll be willing to pay what
Yes.
my fee is. And so
Yes.
it's that's really in terms of standing apart and not, trying to be like everyone else. You only need a
Yeah.
small number. If
Yes.
there are 100,000 weddings in Georgia, I only need 10 of them. And
It's so
so
true.
and
Yeah.
so I just need to speak to those 10
Mm,
people so that, when they're sorting through all the options, I'm like the beacon light that
yeah.
they're attracted to.
Yeah. Gosh, I see that happen a lot where somebody's like, gosh, I really like Greek weddings or I really like doing Persian weddings. And it's like, well, why aren't you doing just that? Nobody else in your market. Oh, I'm scared because then I'll only attract Persian clients. It's like, but there's so many people looking for and they're not finding their people. All they see is all this other stuff here. And you're so right. All you need is 10,
Yeah,
modern Southern hospital, 10 Persian weddings, 10 Greek weddings, 10,
yeah,
whatever it is that is your superpower, your special sauce. And so much of that comes from what you like and enjoy doing too, right? Like you didn't want to do the mason jars and the burlap and you yourself are somebody who exudes a modern interpretation of Southern hospitality.
and something I wanna mention when you said, people who don't wanna get pigeonholed into
Mm,
Persian weddings or Greek weddings. When you're setting yourself apart and you're being recognized, through being published,
mm,
through the work that you're doing, through what people are saying about you, you're going to attract other types of clients as
yes.
well. Like
Yes.
my clients, I travel globally. I've had, you know, people book me who are in LA and I'm flying to California to do their wedding.
Mm,
And they're not from the South. They know nothing about
totally.
the South, but
Totally.
it resonates with them in terms of
Yes.
how they want to feel and how they want their guests to feel. And that really is like the
Mm,
marketing message is modern Southern
mhm,
hospitality, but the underlying message is how they want to feel and
mhm,
what experience they want to have.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, people, I always say branding is a feeling. It's not just the identity, right? Like the identity, your branding identity, the visual aspects on a website or in your beautiful office, those are triggers, visual triggers that should make somebody feel something, but branding is really a feeling. And that's really what you've done such a good job at is making sure that your superpower is a consistent feeling that people are experiencing at every point working with you.
Yes.
So if people are a little nervous, like that whole pigeonholing thing is a real fear that people have in our industry. How would you help somebody feel comfortable and confident in saying, hey, this is my superpower. I'm going to go 110% because this is what I'm good at. This is what I like. This is what I want to do. And I know that I'm going to find I only need 10, right? So
Right.
what advice would you give to somebody who is afraid a little bit still of that quote unquote pigeonholing?
I think the fear of being pigeonholed comes from thinking that you're limited,
Mm,
that there is a scarcity in how you can be successful with those limitations.
mhm.
I think, it start with the numbers.
Yeah,
Start with
yeah,
what amount you need to make, what amount you need to make per wedding, how many weddings you need to do, and then
yes.
look at the reality of you can't handle 100 weddings.
Mhm,
So once you get, the more the numbers make sense, you know what your number is.
Mhm.
And then once you specialize, then you can target your marketing efforts to that
Mhm.
segment of the market. If you're on a big wedding website with 20 other planners and you look like everyone, and at that point it's just a matter of pricing. What's
Yeah.
the best price because you look like everyone else?
Yes.
But once you can specialize, you know who you're speaking to, you can concentrate your marketing efforts to that segment and then build your marketing, your branding around that, then you're speaking to someone instead of
Yes.
trying to speak to everyone.
Yes.
Um, that is how you build a brand in a business that's going to stand apart from others. And really, that should be the goal. So if you are scared or fearful of that, just know that you can't possibly be successful just blending in
Mm.
and being like everyone else. Then you're just playing the numbers game.
And it's hard to build a profitable business, to be quite honest, if you're not standing apart. It's hard, in terms of getting, attracting the ideal client. So it's really difficult in that respect from a sales volume perspective. But the pricing perspective is also impossible if you're not standing out, because if you're not doing something different, if you're not what I call a rarity, rarity breeds value, and value is what dictates your price at the end of the day. And those factors need to be in place in order for you to be able to price appropriately for all the work that we do in our industry. So
Yeah,
rarity has to be a factor. Call it superpower, rarity, differences, that needs to be a factor in building the business these days.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for talking with us today and giving us advice. If any of you are looking to have some help in finding your superpower, creating your superpower, accentuating your superpower, Michelle can give you a lot of clarity in determining what your superpower is. You can hire her at bsageconsulting.com/Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for talking with us today.
Thank you for having me.